What's up, guys? It's your boy DS, and today we are going to be talking about Wild Hearts. I've been looking forward to this game for a while now, and the time has come. The game is almost here. It'll be out, tomorrow? So anyway, with that being the case, I wanted to go ahead and make a couple of videos getting you guys up to speed on everything you need to know before the game releases. So the first thing I want to talk about is the story. Now, the story isn't going to be super important, but it is pretty nice, and if you guys want to skip any of the cutscenes, it's not the end of the world. I know there are a lot of people out there that just want to get straight into the gameplay. They don't care to look at all the story elements and anything like that. They're just here for the gameplay, and I completely understand. I may skip some parts, I may not skip some parts. Just depends on how interested I am, but if you guys do want to watch everything, you'll be fine as well. So as far as the story goes, it's not like super important. It's not like you need to know everything or whatever. It's a pretty simple premise, so you guys will be fine as far as that goes. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the regions in the game. There are 4 different regions, and they're all based off the seasons. So you'll have one in, summertime, one in the winter, etc. Now, even though there are only 4 regions in the game, they're actually pretty large in scale, and they offer different enemies and different materials based on which region you're in and which region you're farming. Now, speaking of enemies, I do want to talk about the Kemono, which are the main monsters in the game. If you guys have seen any gameplay, you'll notice these are like the really big monsters, and they all have different gameplay elements to them and different strengths and weaknesses that you'll have to master in order to beat them. These Kemono are going to be the main things that you're farming in the game, and these are going to be a really big part of you upgrading your gear and getting weapons and upgrading your playstyle. Now, speaking of the weapons, there are 8 different types of weapons in the game, and each weapon has its own unique playstyle and abilities for you to meet your gameplay needs. From them having a katana, to them having a really big sword, to them having cannons, there are a multitude of different options for anyone that has a specific playstyle that they want to cater to. Now, on top of that, there are gear and upgrades in this game. And as this game is a game that you use what you grind, you will need to go out, fight Kemono, find materials, and then you'll be able to come back, get gear, and get upgrades, and that will allow you to go out and fight stronger Kemono and get better materials, rinse, repeat. So this is one of those type of games, if you guys didn't know. I feel like everyone that, is looking forward to this game should know that, though. Now, one thing that I want to talk about and you guys need to take note of is Karakuri. If you guys don't know what this is basically the ability system that has been placed in the game. And what I mean by that is, this is something everyone's going to have access to, and you can use it in what way you want to play how you want to play. Now, there are 3 different categories of Karakuri. The first one being basic, and this is going to be your small Karakuri, whether you place down 1 box, your glider, the torches, or the spring. These are going to be the basic Karakuri that you are able to use. Now, the next one I want to talk about is going to be the fusion Karakuri. And what this is whenever you fuse the basic Karakuris, you can make something a lot better. So instead of using 1 box, you can put 2 or 3 and it'll make it much bigger. Or let's say you drop down 6 of them, they will fuse and create a wall. So these are going to be the different fusions that you can do with your Karakuri as long as you know the combinations. And the last one I'll talk about is the Dragon Karakuri. These are going to be the really big Karakuri that you use, like the really big hammer that comes out, or if you guys are using the really big zip line or many others. So these are going to be the Dragon Karakuri. Now, as you progress through the game, you will get upgrades and different things to the Karakuri, and how you utilize the Karakuri, you're going to have a resource called thread, and as you use Karakuri, the thread will go down, but it's not that big of a deal because as you're hitting enemies or Kemono, you are going to get thread back. On top of there will be thread and around the area and stuff like that, so there's going to be multiple ways for you to refill your thread, but the main resource that you use to make the Karakuri is your thread. Now, I want to let you guys know the main story playtime is apparently around 30 hours to complete. Now, with that being said, that is obviously a decently long game, but you don't have to do all of the story to get into all of the action. You can do a little bit of the beginning, and then once you open up the world, you can start your journey and go about doing the open world fighting and things that you want. Now, obviously, as you progress through the story, there are going to be a couple of different things that they introduce to you and things like that, but for the most part, you don't have to play the entire story to get a lot of the things that the game has to offer. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the optional side quests. These are also in the game, and they'll also allow you to get many different materials or rewards if you choose to do them. Now, like I said, these are optional, so you don't have to do them, but seeing as this is like an open world as game and you kind of can go anywhere you want, doing some of these side quests might net you some really nice rewards, and in turn might net you some really good upgrades or gear that you may not have got if you did not do the side quest. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is the PC system requirements. Now, obviously, if you're on PlayStation or you're on Xbox, you don't have to worry about any of this. You guys will be completely fine on your respective consoles. But if you are on PC, I did want to talk to you guys about the requirements, just so you guys know what you're getting into before you buy the game and your PC can't run it, or whatever the case may be. Now, as you guys see, the minimum requirements right here: OS 64-bit, Windows 10, obvious. The processor, AMD Ryzen 5 2600 or Intel Core i5-8400. And then the graphics card, you can go with the RX 5500 or you can go with the GeForce GTX 1060. Now, this is obviously the minimum requirements. So if you guys have the minimum, what this is, you guys will be able to run the game, but it's you probably just won't be able to run it on the maximum settings. It's not going to be super high graphics, etc., etc. Now, the recommended system requirements is going to be the Ryzen 3600 for the processor, and then for Intel, it would be the Core i7 8700K. Now, if you're looking at the graphics cards, you can get the RX 5700 on the AMD, or if you have NVIDIA, it'll basically be a GTX 2070. Now, if you guys have these specs, you will most likely be able to run the game on high settings and not really have any problems or issues. Now, on top of that, I do want to let you guys know off the bat, you do need 80 gigabytes of space for this game. So if you guys don't have any space, you might need to make space. I don't know if you got an SSD that you need to hook up or whatever the case may be, but it does require 80 gigabytes for you guys to download and play this game. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is the multiplayer. Multiplayer is seemingly going to be one of the biggest aspects of this game. Now, I know there are going to be a couple of people that want to just play solo, and if you do want to play solo, you can. There's nothing wrong there. But as far as multiplayer goes, you can play with up to 3 people in a party, so you and 2 friends, and then on top of that, it is also cross-playable. So if you're on PC, your friend's on Xbox, and then your third's on PlayStation, y'all can all still play together, and I feel like that is going to be one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people get this game, is because you can play across multiple systems. I have a couple of friends that don't have the best PC specs, but they do have like a PlayStation or an Xbox, so they can play on that while I play on my PC. It's going to make the game a lot more fun for a lot of people, and it's just going to be a lot more inclusive. But anyway, these are just some things you need to know before you buy the game. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys learned something or took something away from the video. And yeah, with that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.